Greetings, wonderful human psychopaths, to episode 2 review. Gotta get hyped. So we start out with confirmation that Yamatoi was killed by Shisui. We don't know why, just happened, and apparently the Dominator just let him do it. So there's some weird mischief going on. We don't know why. And WC was like written on a wall with a question mark for some fucking reason next to it. We don't know why, but that's a thing. And they ponder it. And then we get the intro, and I adore this intro. This intro gets cooler every time. I love it. So then we get back in the episode. We got Mika bitching more, because that's what she does. And she was bitching about Akane and a report, because she doesn't like how Akane does things, because she wants things by the book, and Akane's like, fuck the book. Then Ginaza, which actually this was interesting, Ginaza then bashes Mika for bashing Akane in the report, and is like, hey, bro, don't just do a whole report of bashing Akane. That ain't cool, bro. That's a no-go for me, bro. Sometimes you don't do things by the book and it goes okay, which is interesting, because that is a huge 180 from episode 2 of season 1. This is a huge character development for Ginaza, which is actually really interesting. I actually like this, because at exactly episode 2 of season 1, it was Ginaza who was writing his report about the things that happened in episode 1, and his report was mostly just saying Akane screwed up and is incompetent. So now, in episode 2 of season 2, we have Ginaza who's complaining about somebody else calling Akane incompetent in their report. So his opinion of Akane is not only a 180, but now he's telling somebody else it's okay to not always do things by the book, when in episode 2 of season 1, he was the one saying, hey, you always gotta do things by the book, bro. So I think that's really cool and interesting, and even though it's like literally a 180 from what their character used to believe, I think it's actually a really cool and interesting and believable character development, because of the events we saw in season 1, and how we've seen his character throughout the show strictly and over-aggressively try to follow the rules and stay inside the lines because he's scared of ending up like his father. And then, after his father dies, it was the final nail in the coffin of his psychopaths getting too cloudy, and then him ending up exactly like his father. And then after that, we've now seen him loosen up and get to the point where now he doesn't care so much about obsessively following the rules, because the biggest fear that was driving him to be obsessive about the rules, the main thing that was driving him to be so obsessive about the rules was his fear of ending up like his dad, and then it happened anyway. So it makes sense that now he would be so much more lenient. So that's a really cool character development. I love it. Then we get Yayoi. I couldn't remember her name last episode. Sorry about that, dudes. But we get Yayoi telling Mika to be less of a dick. And then Mika's like, I'm sorry, senpai, because Mika, totally has the hots for Yayoi or something, which is fine. Yayoi is a lovely-looking lady, so that's totes cool. Then again, Yayoi had, a thing with, the one, doctor lady dude, so, I don't know how well that'll work out, but, then Akane is like, it's cool to bash me in the report, bro, I don't care, whatevs, go ahead, do it. Anyway, I got shit to do, I'm gonna go question Kitazawa, which I think is kind of funny. Akane just, doesn't give a single shit that this entire report was bashing her. She's just like, print it, I don't care, I got better things to do, whatever, Mika. So Akane continues to be, the coolest character in anything like ever. So we get to the freaking interrogation of Kitazawa, the bomber dude from the first episode, and he's just like nuts now. He's just like babbling freaking gibberish and is a psycho, I guess. He talks about a guardian angel who's keeping his hue clear, allowing him to just bomb dudes and not feel like a bad person about it, and not get read as a bad person by the civil system. So that's weird. And, then all of a sudden we jump cut to, Akane after the interrogation, talking to, co-workers about, Shisui again, the, person they were talking about from the beginning of the episode, and, they're talking about how somehow all of Shisui's actions were considered legal by Sybil, which is weird, because usually Sybil can just read your brain and determine whether your actions are legal or not. It's weird. So, yeah. Which is interesting because the coworker, I forget her name, doesn't know what Akane knows, which Akane knows that she met somebody in the first season that wasn't read correctly by Sybil. They know that it's possible for someone to not be correctly read by Sybil. So Akane is theorizing that the guardian angel that Kitazawa was talking about exists and had something to do with the murder that Shisui was involved in, and the weird WC thing. And essentially, they ponder the WC thing more, and the coworker's just like, nah, bro, nah. There's no way that the guardian angel exists, because for the guardian angel person to exist, and for that person to have something to do with the Shisui murder, they would have to literally not be read by Sybil at all. Not just considered to have a clear psychopath, but to literally have the Sybil system not detect them as a human being. The Sybil system. For there to be another person there, the Sybil system would have to literally not be able to tell that the person exists. And they're basically going, Akane, that's impossible. There's no way a person Sybil doesn't recognize can exist. And the second we get that line, we know that that's just foreshadowing a fucking person that the Sybil system can't recognize existing. We know that person's gonna exist now. We fucking know. It's super obvious foreshadowing. Also, Akane says they exist. Akane is like the fucking smartest person in the show, so if Akane says someone exists, you know they're gonna fucking exist. So this is more shit, like in the first episode, where someone's like, no, Akane, you're wrong about this thing. And then the whole audience is just sitting there like, God damn it. No, she's not. She's always fucking right. Just believe Akane, guys. The plot of this show would go so much more smoothly if everyone just believed Akane. But, then after that we get like a random weird Sakuya workout with Akane. He's just like practicing judo throws or some shit, and then Akane comes in there and busts out a treadmill, and he's like doing that weird exercise thing where you just hug really hard, and they just talk about shit and whatever. This new guy, Sakuya, Togane, whatever, it's a little bit of a step down. He's the new man partner guy for Akane, and he's not as hot as the hot man partner she used to have in season 1 that ran away at the end of season 1, so I'm sorry, dude. You're not as hot, bro. Gina's still hot, though, so we got that going for the show. So we still got... And then the red hair dude's a little hot. He's a little cute, so we still have the appropriate hot dude quota, though I think season 1 had better hot guys. But, Togane, believes that the guardian angel ghost person thing that can't be detected by the Sybil system, therefore can't exists, so he actually agrees with Akane. Which is cool, because there's at least one person smart enough to just believe Akane. Red hair boy just busts on in there saying, the hologram from episode 1, the hostage person that the bomber dude had that they said was a hologram, he said it is way too complicated and intricate to be realistic for someone to make this just for a hostage. Because, like, they could have made a really, like, whatever hologram with way less work that would have tricked him just as well. There's no reason for this to be that intricate. Also, it's apparently the hologram is based off of a actual person, except it's like a dead girl. So they made like this hologram of a dead girl aged like 12 years for some reason, and that doesn't make sense. So they bring that up to be yo, bro, what the fuck? Kitazawa's crime coefficient randomly just gets super low for no reason, so they gotta let him go. And he's like, my guardian angel ghost person saved me, and now my hue is clear. And they're just like, there wasn't anyone in here but a random fucking therapist. So they go see the therapist, and the therapist is like, hey, Ginaza, sorry I couldn't help your hue get lower and you end up a criminal. This is awkward. And then Ginaza's like, it's cool. So then that conversation happens. Then the therapist dude's like, yo, Akane, no smoking. It's bad for you. And Akane's like, oh shit. And then we have Akane in a room, and she lights up a cigarette, because Akane smokes now, so she's even cooler looking than before. And then the fucking jellyfish AI program busts on scene, and it's like, hey, Akane, no smoking. Drugs are bad, bro. And Akane's like, shut the fuck up. Is that a scratch on my wall? And, then Kitazawa escapes, and it turns out WC is just carved into her fucking wall, which is weird. I don't know how that happened. So then all of a sudden they're chasing after Kitazawa, and, cause, he escaped and shit. And he escapes in the sewer. They follow after him. He just sets off a shit ton of bombs. A little before this, Akane was like, hey, dudes, there's no way he could have realistically escaped by himself, and got through the sewer. That's literally impossible, so he must have an accomplice. Probably the guardian angel ghost dude that keeps getting mentioned. And everyone's like, no, Akane, there's no fucking way he has an accomplice, and there's no fucking way that he has an accomplice guardian angel dude that can't be detected by the Sybil system, because a person that can't be detected by the Sybil system can't fucking exist. And then at the end of the episode, we get confirmation that a person that can't get detected by the fucking Sybil system fucking exists. Because of fucking course it does. Because of course Akane's right. Because, dude, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Dude sets off the bombs, to, scare him, I guess, because it doesn't, actually blow Akane crew up or anything. It just blows up. And then Akane's like, I'm sorry, but now that you've pressed that button, and then all of a sudden his crime coefficient went up for pressing the button, and, Togene's holding the gun at him, saying, okay, Akane, just tell me to shoot him. And I'll shoot him. And then Akane hesitates, and then one of the other fucking co-worker people sees the dudes, one of the other dudes, the co-worker she's talking to about the WC thing, they just come in and shoot him, and he just, explodes. That's one of the goofiest things in Psycho Pass, that it's like, hey, we gotta calmly execute people by making them explode and gore everywhere. I love it. It's hilarious. It's awesome. I love how they shoot people and they just fucking inflate and blow up, like the one fucking Inflato gun from Turok 2 or whatever. So he gets blown up. He mentions Kamui before he gets blown up. So then Akane's like, Kamui? That must be that ghost fucker guardian angel guy that totally exists and no one believes me. And, then she realizes that WC, stood for what color? Because when it's reading your hue to tell your, it's reading your hue to see how, depressed and shit you are and how much violent thoughts you have. The fucking Sybil system can basically judge how likely you are to commit crimes. It can judge your fucking psychology and all that shit. And essentially, your hue is a color that represents, how healthy your mental state is. So he was asking, what color is my mental state? So that's what WC is for. Why he carved that on a bunch of shit, I don't know. He was babbling crazy nonsense at the beginning, so I guess he's just crazy. I mean, I guess that makes sense. But, so WC stands for what color, he gets blown the fuck up, And we see Kamui, you know, that guy that literally every fucking person keeps going, this person can't exist. And Akane's like, nah, they exist. That's the only thing that can make sense. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it sounds less crazy than the alternative you guys are suggesting. And they're like, no, well, if he exists, Akane's right, because Akane's always right. Of course she's right. And the dude exists, and we get some dramatic music, and he's like, Akane, why? He could have been healed. He could have had his cube made clear. Why did you kill him? I thought you would understand. So he, like, knows about Akane, I guess, but he doesn't know that Akane didn't kill him, I guess. I don't know. But we get cool music playing while he says this random shit. We, like, see his, like, forehead, and that's about it. He has, like, generic anime protagonist hair, and then, he has Shinji's hair. I got Shinji behind me. Yeah, he's got Shinji Ikari's hair. So he's basically Shinji Ikari. So we get Shinji Ikari complaining like, Akane, why? It's the same fucking hair as Luffy too, I guess. And, then, the ending plays, and the ending theme's also great. I didn't mention that last video, but the ending theme is also great. And that's the episode. It was a pretty cool episode. I liked it. I still hate Mika. She's annoying. And I kind of think it's, like, every episode so far is just like, Akane, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. And then we get confirmation Akane's right. So that's kind of weird. And a little annoying, but I enjoyed the episode. I'm interested in the main villain, Shinji Hair fucker. I'm interested to learn more about him, so that's exciting. I think the concept of a person that Sybil can't understand exists is interesting. And, I mean, episode wasn't... Okay. To sum it up, without being redundant, the episode, it felt a lot like it was kind of it was written a little silly and a little dumb at times, but it was fun, and I enjoyed it. Ginaza had some good character development, and Kane has a nicotine addiction.
Thank you, wonderful humans, for watching this video. If you could please subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment telling me how wonderful I am. Follow me on Twitter at FlashyJWEvans, and as always, this has been Hell and High Tales, and I am one of your lovely co-hosts, King of Games Champion, JW Alistar, telling you to have a dandy